They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no game. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. It's in our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Can't hear me. How about now? Booyah. Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your social expression, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your host, Brother Deen. I'm here with my co-host,
Mr. Marsha. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Everything's doing good. Alhamdulillah. We'll be joined shortly by our other co-host, Brother Bilal, and our special guest today, Councilman Basheer Jones of Cleveland, Ohio, and artist Dave. They're going to introduce their new track called Freedom. So we look forward to hearing that probably midway through the hour. In the meantime, let's do a check-in. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Nice weather outside. It's the weekend, so it's time for me to relax, at least from my 9 to 5. I'll pick up all the other stuff I do outside of that, but you know, it's just alhamdulillah just to be able to kick back and not have to do a little too much. How about you? What's on for you guys?
Same. Doing pretty good. Enjoying the weather. Just got in the pool earlier today, so that was pretty nice.
Ellis, I need a pool.
Oh man, it was my little nephew's great nephew actually. His birthday day. He just turned 1, so he's fired up. Yeah.
Miss those days. My girls are big now, but
yeah.
I'm finished.
I hear that.
Made my contribution to society. It is done.
Exactly. Also, today we are in collaboration with Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. This is our contribution to that designation. We're calling our series the Healthy New Thinking series. We have a co-head by Imam Muhammad, and the best life is mental life. And yesterday we were honored to have Dr. Shafiq Amin, who's the author of several books. His latest book is HBCU Pride, and the newest one actually is a message to the fatherless generation. And he gave us a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of insight, and guidance. As you mentioned at the end of the show, you know, where do we go from here? You know, and he gave us some good action steps. What was
Definitely.
what was
Yeah,
your
he
takeaway? Yeah.
because I'm an HBCU graduate, and so he definitely had me thinking about what more I can do just to, if the youth pick some other school other than HBCUs, that's fine, but to not even expose them to it or to have the conversation with the young people in my midst, it kind of just made me feel like, okay, you could be doing a little bit more to make that happen. So inshallah, I'll be moving in that direction.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing I really appreciate that he shared about the importance of the alumni, how the alumni are crucial to continuing the legacy and giving back. Whether it's like you said, promoting it to your family, your friends, but also your money. Your money is very valuable to the institutions.
Yeah, yeah, and I as I pointed out yesterday, we talk about. There's been a lot of talk now, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and all everything we have this injustice going on. We have promoting black business, support your black business. We have different Facebook groups all over the place, and we need to do that same thing for our institution. So, inshallah, that's coming. Hopefully in the near future for the initiatives that are out there.
Absolutely, because education is definitely our number one priority. We'll give a few announcements. Our guest is in the queue, so we'll introduce him in a moment. But we do want to give a few announcements. Next month, we'll be in conjunction with We Buy Black, which is New Africa August. New Africa August. You can check out more information on newafricaaugust.com. It's a month dedicated to us developing a strategic plan for preparing for our future. We know that African American History Month is in February, and we recall the historical places, persons, and events in our sojourn here in America for freedom. But now that we're in a state of what we call new freedom, we need to plan for our future collectively. And so, in conjunction with We Buy Black, they had designated August as New Africa August. So for 31 days, they're going to have continuous broadcasting, webinars addressing these issues for us to move forward. Also, before we, again, one more announcement. We have what we call getting ready to launch in conjunction with New Africa August is New Freedom Exchange Daily, which we're going to coincide with the daily broadcasting. So look out for more of that coming soon on our Patreon, patreon.com, New Freedom Exchange. Okay, now what we've been waiting for. We want to bring in our two beloved guests, our dear brother, Councilman, future Mayor of Cleveland, Basheer Jones. Yes, and our dear brother Dave. How y'all doing today?
It's all good. It's all good. Man, thank you so much. Walaikum salam, sister. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. Excited for this interview. I feel like this is gonna be a hitter.
Inshallah.
Absolutely.
Inshallah, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's crazy how people come together. I was out in Dubai. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, so I had a lot of family members. We got aunties, uncles. You know how I go. So they invited me out to Dubai. It's a large African American Muslim community out there. So I go out there and I meet this brother, and his name is Heath, and he's a teacher out there. He's actually a teacher. I think he's a principal now in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Man, this is a brother in your city who you got to meet. His name is Davee. You got to meet him. He's an amazing artist." And I'm like, usually if it's in Cleveland, Cleveland's a small major city, so when it's something in your city, you usually know what's going on, especially when you're in tune. So, but I hadn't bumped into the brother yet. So that was years ago. That was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And then finally, man, the time had came where me and my brother, man, we was able to come together and really do something special during this time. So, alhamdulillah, I'm just thankful for you all for giving us an opportunity to come here and spend some time with you. And inshallah, it's beneficial.
Absolutely. Davey, like introduce yourself, our dear brother.
Yeah, like my man Nas said, man, it was written, man. So it was just a matter of time for me and my guy to get together, man. course, like you said, the city is small, so he already kind of started his rounds, man. So if you didn't know him, then you kind of was lost, man.
Inshallah.
So it was on my to-do list. You know, it was my mind was made up. I knew we would meet. It was just a matter of time, and although my time would have been years prior, I think the time that God finally did make that chess move was the right time, you know. And I don't think anybody would disagree that when he does do it, it's right on time, man. And the rest has been history. It's been like a seamless process, man. You think we've been kicking it for years.
Mm.
So that's when you know it's ordained, man. And you just ride with it, and your gifts take over the rest.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's jump right in it. The new track is called Freedom. I'm a fan and follower and brother of Basheer Jones, so I know a lot of his tracks. But this new one, I mean, it ties right in with the social climate that's going on, the social unrest, the injustice, and the different systems in our society. You know, people not having trust in government, not having trust in even the politicians that represent the people. So what made y'all really like just jump right in and just face what's going on, like front line?
Well, for me, hip hop, spoken word, that was my first form of activism, and it's like bubblegum flavored medicine. You know what I mean? Like people don't like medicine in its original form,
Right.
but if you give it to them in a different flavor, then it's easier to accept. So that has always been my way of reaching different people. And my guy Bravo and Mac, who are the producers of the track, said, "Hey man, this is the time right now. Like this is the time we need to put something out that would be really beneficial. This is the time that could really move people." And then of course there was no voice, man, that I wanted on it besides my brother Davee, man, as we always wanted to do something. And actually, he got a new project he got coming out. Actually, it kind of fits the same, vibe of what's going on right now. So a lot of people, they look at me and see me as a politician and an elected official. And I am an elected official, but a public servant first. And I won't ever stop rapping. I won't ever stop writing. I won't ever stop performing. That's my joy.
Okay. See that, and yeah, so that was where my mind was going. Was just like, okay, politician, rapper, like,
Mm-hmm.
where they do that at?
Mashallah.
But I mean, it's definitely fitting because, like you said, it's like that bubblegum medicine. My kids love it, so.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Mashallah.
So Davey,
Yeah,
he
I
said
think. Go ahead.
no, you good. I was about to say he mentioned you working on some other projects. You're welcome to share it on the platform. Any information you all want to share.
Yeah. I make sure I shout that out, man, before we get off. But I just want to speak to the fact, man, that I think Basheer, clearly represents the epitome of the successful black man that's able to switch and wear multiple hats. Like you say, it's not very often you can find a guy to just be thorough. You know what I mean? To where he can talk to the streets. He can go into a courthouse. He can go into any facility, any arena, and hold his own and just switch up gears at any given moment. It's very rare you'll find a politician that can rap. You know what I mean? And not just make words rhyme, but literally like, no, this dude got bars. You know what I mean? And being I think that just speaks to being black in America in general. We have to become the jack of all trades. You know what I mean? And it's actually a skill that if you master it, you are, what you see in Basheer. 1 minute you'll go to his page and he's speaking to the kids. The next minute you're on his page and he talking to the police force, telling them, hey, we need to even these numbers out. We need some diversity on this police force. You know what I mean? Then the next day you go and you see a video like Freedom where you're like, man, this dude rap better than some of the rappers in the city. You know what I mean? I just don't want to take that lightly because that just speaks to just how dope we are as a culture, as a people, man. And when we did this song, it was man. I hate to say it was easy because I don't want to disrespect our craft and our art, but it wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't hard. We went in. I think that's because we both authentic. We both genuinely bleed this stuff. What those lyrics speak. We live it, and it's so much better to be authentic versus a lot of artists are trying to scramble right now to find a song to fit what's going on. But when that's your everyday message, man, it's so much easier. You know what I mean?
Excellent. So what is the obligation of the artist? Like we're talking to people who are conscious, and you have your influence, but there's a whole segment of our community that are influenced by those who may not be conscious, that are giving the wrong messages. So what is the obligation of artists in their craft of sharing a message if they have that influence and that impact?
You want to take that first, B, or you want me to go? For me, I think when you have a platform like that's once you get to that platform, your words become that much more powerful. And if you care anything about your people, if you care anything about the climate of the world, our people, I believe, somewhere in your heart, you should capture those moments and give inspiration, give hope, give positivity, give even instruction, man. A lot of our music that we grew up on had those elements. Like you had your other music that was strictly for partying and whatnot, but you always had a sense of voice and reason that you could play and it could get the people together. And now it's kind of more so that's being washed out and everything is party, 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 party. And clearly we can see that this is not a moment for partying, man. So I think all artists should be somewhat respectful to the climate and try to acknowledge it and try to somewhat guide the people, man. Music is powerful, and that's why people fight to control it because there's messages in it. I believe that was one of the greatest messages our slaves used was our music song. And that's what we set out to do with this song.
W.E.B. Du Bois, he said that art is propaganda. Art is propaganda. And, nobody get a pass right now for being silent, let alone rapping nonsense, using your art to encourage and uplift and inspire and motivate. And as we know, media has an amazing power where not only does it change your perspective of the world, but it has the power to change your perspective of your own self. So for me personally, especially when I'm going to different neighborhoods and I'm rapping with people, man, I go to the neighborhood and I'm walking, they see me suited and booted or whatever. And it's like, who the rapper over here? Who can rap over here, man? You know what I'm saying? Who can rap? Man, he can rap. Come over here. So he started rapping. You know what I'm saying? Kill you, sell drugs, you know what I'm saying? Bum, bum, bing, bum, bum, bing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I start flowing. And I'm just like, and then the youngins is like, oh, snap, man, you can flow. I didn't expect that. Blah, blah. Now I got their attention. Now they listening to me. And now I can give them why I really came. This is why I really came. I came to drop this off for you that you have to decide. You have to make a decision of where you want your life to be. Recently, just today, it's about 100 degrees here in Cleveland, by the way. No, baby. It's about 100 degrees here in Cleveland. But we went around, I partnered with a local church, and we created something called blessing boxes. And what these blessing boxes is we basically put, I got a lot of kids around me right now.
You good. We good. We all family, man.
Yeah.
Babies already. I'm just like, ooh,
Ya Rabbil Alameen. So, Imran, khalas. So anyway, we Davee, khalas means enough. Stop.
That's a wrap.
It has a lot of different meanings to it.
When it got dead silent, I figured that.
It means if you do anything after I said khalas, that means a whooping is coming next, brother. That's what that means.
Right.
But anyway, we went around and we put these posts in the ground and we create these boxes called blessing boxes where people who are looking for blessings can go in and get some food, get some clothes, get some money. And people who are looking to give blessings can go and put these things inside of the boxes. And the reason why I said that is because as we are entering into people's communities, we can't truly inspire and motivate. We can't motivate anybody unless we are first willing to feed them, unless we are first willing to heal them. And you can't help anyone out unless you first understand who they are, where they come from, what they believe, and what their situation is. So that's what art is about. Art gives us the opportunity to walk into places that initially, they're not allowing anybody in. And I think that's why art is so important, very important.
Right. And even speaking to what you just said, that sort of gives you the into the young people too, right? Because we talk about being in an environment where they're not letting people in. Well, that sort of culture exists amongst our young people too. You talked about being amongst young people and them not knowing that you got bars and then all of a sudden you break out and they like, oh, wait, he's one of us, or he's somebody I can connect to, and then that becomes your entryway into their minds, into their hearts, to be able to, like Dave said, display, give a message. That's the platform, but you first gotta meet them where they are. And so I think you guys are doing that with the black boxes, but you're doing that with your artistry.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, and you all are doing it too. With the work that you are doing, right now, this is a time period where I believe that consciousness is the new black. That's funny, but consciousness is everybody is on being conscious right now. You know what I mean? And I just think that platforms like yours that will thrive, and then after, or once we get to a point where, whether it's coronavirus or whatever, I just believe that people will begin to, have the opportunity to really thrive during this time. So I just appreciate the work that you all are doing, and it's things like this that could really make a change in our community and change the perspective of how people view Muslims, how people view black people, how people view women. I just think that we have to get to a point where we're open to have an exchange with people who may be different from us, and to come to find out that maybe we are more alike than we think.
Right.
Absolutely. So what is the obligation though of the people that see this work, those who are conscious, those who are in the trenches, in the front line? What message would you give to them of their importance in supporting you all and supporting people like Dope Muslim podcast? There's several other podcasts that we listen to, and our whole vision is to try to bring this conglomerate together and become that new platform that people go to where they can see all these different positive images coming from different perspectives. So what can you share with the people? Like what is the importance of them getting involved in supporting us and supporting you all as well?
And supporting you.
Yes,
and then I'll say a few words and throw to Davee, because he got an amazing album that's coming out that needs support as well. But as I tell people, consistency is the key. If you're waiting on people to support you or waiting for them to care about what you have to say, you're wasting your time. I put out music not because I think that everybody's going to listen to it or like it. I put it out because there needs to be a balance of energy at all times. So if Lil Wayne put out something and I'm like, yo, that's problematic, then I'm putting out something. Right. I may not have the platform that he has in regards to the support and backing of pushing his music, but I have people that I influence that they need to know that this ain't okay. you know, that this is not right. So I want to say to you and to everybody out there tuned in, you know, do the work because it needs to be done, and the Creator will manifest what needs to happen. Don't wait on a big audience. When I say I'm doing a march, if don't nobody show up, then I guess I'm just taking a walk by myself, because people need to know that what I say is going to happen, and what I'm, you know, it's like people who like, you know, if you call somebody and say, hey, yo, you coming to the party? The first thing they ask is that, yo, who gonna be there? You know, and if the party is depending on them, they ain't coming. But if the party gonna go on without them, that's the party that they want to be at.
Right.
So that's how movement is. Do your show no matter if nobody listening, because guess what? It may be somebody 50 years from now who what you said, you understand, impacts them. So that's the way that we have to move. That's the way when Allah inspires me to write or to do something, I'm not like, well, what if nobody hears me? I'm like, nah. He inspired me, I gotta do it. And he'll take care of the rest, inshallah. But Davee?
Before Davee go in, I remember one time you posted that you was gonna be on this block for 24 hours. You know what I mean, to let people know, like, we're gonna stop the drugs, we're gonna stop the guns, we're gonna stop the violence. And I don't know how many people came and visit you, but I know you held it down. And may Allah bless you for that, man.
I mean, 48 hours, you know, 72 hours actually. I pitched a tent. They was shooting too much in this specific area, and I just took a tent. Like, listen, hey Deen, I ain't never pitched a tent in my life, brother. I don't know nothing about no tents.
Okay, Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn, Cleveland. I don't know about tents, you know.
Right.
I had to call some other brothers. Hey, come put this tent up for me, man. But I put the tent up and it was amazing, man. Stayed there for 72 hours, and people from all across the county was coming, dropping off food, and then I was able to give out food to the community because it was so much food. I had a fire pit out there, and man, it wasn't not one gunshot, man. The young thugs in the area, they held it down, and then you know the Muslims, they held it down. Ain't nobody held it down like us, you understand? So that was held down. The police had some people. So it was so many people that really cared. But as I said, when we say we're gonna do something, especially as men, if we say it, we mean it, and we make it happen, inshallah.
Davee?
Yeah. Just to add to that, man, it's like when you talk in terms of a revolution, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what Brother Basheer keeps hinting at. I have a project coming out called The Revolution, and it's funny because God will put a vision in only a certain few that he knows to carry it out. You know, like a individual that'll go and pitch a tent on a block for 72 hours. You know what I mean? Or an individual that'll say, all right, we doing a song called Revolution. And, you know, I was doing that song a year ago this time. I'm actually shooting a video for it. And at that time, it didn't make total sense because it wasn't necessary to climb it. But the vision was like a year ahead. You know what I mean? But what happens is those certain individuals that can be trusted to carry out the vision, whether they understand it totally or not, are the people that usually are the catalyst to the revolution. Most times, if you recall, revolutions don't start with 1,000,000 people. It's usually a group of like-minded people that's small in nature. But as momentum builds, it becomes cooler. It becomes the thing to do, and then that's when your crowd comes. But somebody has to start it. You know what I mean? And that's what I think we bring to the table. You know, whether it's me by myself or whether it's an army behind me, the message is going to be the same, the vision is going to be the same, and the energy is going to be the same because it's authentic and because it's what's needed, man. And that's what I think makes everything that we do much more impactful. People can feel that when it's real. People can feel when you're trying to capitalize on a moment versus when you are really, you know, trying to bring change. Like Basheer always say, you're trying to be the change that you want to see. People can feel it, you know.
Excellent.
And that project will be coming. the revolution. It'll be coming real soon. It's getting edited. Some final touches because it was shot a year ago. It would have been, a crime to not capture everything that's going on right now, So back then it was more so the crime that we have and things that are going on within our own community. But now it's bigger, now it's a worldwide thing where we finally addressing this race thing head on, man. So it's definitely a great time to be an artist. I think as artists, we can take things a lot further than any other voice. You know what I mean? Because we put a certain pizzazz to it. We put a certain cool to it that makes it that much more intriguing and captures your ear. You know what I mean?
Excellent, excellent. So you've been listening. This is New Freedom Exchange, culture expression for social dignity and community empowerment, co-hosted by Sister Marsha and myself, Brother Deen. We also now are blessed to have our dear brother Bilal. He came out of the studio. He's back on the scene. We're here with Brother Davee and our dear Honorable Councilman Basheer Jones. Before we go into the actual debut for this platform of their new track called Freedom, we'll let Bilal catch up to speed, give us the greetings. If you got any questions before we go in, it's over to you, Bilal.
Well, assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Councilman Basheer Jones, Brother Davee, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Deen, Sister Marsha. I made it. I was on the road, so got to get out of the trenches to make it to the show. But yeah, I caught up to what everyone is saying, what everyone's been saying, and I'm very honored and to be in the presence of everyone, and honored to be in front of the Councilman Basheer Jones, who I've been following his journey for quite a while, and proudly to be introduced to Brother Davee for the first time as an artist. So I'm very excited for the music and the activism that's coming out of Cleveland, out of the urban communities out there, because we need examples and role models, and I think that Brother Basheer and Brother Davee are good examples. They're setting good examples in those communities. And before we or after we launch the video, debut the video for Freedom, I would like you both to talk about and touch upon the importance of being good examples for the Black young men, more specifically now, because we're in this time where a lot of our Black boys are suffering from trauma, and men in general, Black men in general, are suffering from trauma and depression due to the current social and racial unrest and generational curses. If you all could speak to the importance of seeing positive male imagery, Black male imagery, that would be great.
Excellent. So no further ado, we're at the halftime mark. We want to introduce the latest track called Freedom from Brother Davee and Councilman Basheer Jones, here live on New Freedom Exchange. You can play it, Bilal.
Do it up.
Feeling really emotional, man. Bravo, I appreciate you, man. Mac, I appreciate you, man. Davey, what's up, man? It's our time, man. Listen to that. Jesse Jackson, he said that we are somebody. America treat us like we ain't nobody. We need help from somebody. I'm getting tired of seeing Black bodies. We'll be okay, that's what my mama said. We unhealed, that's what the trauma said. Yes, we can, that's what Obama said. American terror, that's what Osama said. You wanna break something, go and break the ceiling. You wanna start something, go and start the healing. How you wanna raise hell but won't raise your children? Wanna burn a building but won't start building. I want the violence to decrease, whether it's the streets or it's the police. Yo, be a real one, stay away from snakes.
I gotta make a change, no time to waste.
Tell me what you see when you look at me. Is it something that you hate, or something that you wanna be? Help me understand how you can be so mad at my existence. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom.
The system ain't broken, doing what it's supposed to do. Realest words spoken. Kill us in live and live in color. Brother choking, called on his mother, dead in the open. Anybody go and break some glass. It take a real one, bro, to give a class. Anyone can pull a gun and start to blast, but it takes a real man to give a pass. Be proactive, not reactive. How I make a change, Basheer? Be active. Boy, you go and sell some dope, but won't go and vote. Father left early, he don't know how to cope. I came too far, boy can't fail. They said I'm a sellout. Shit, what I sell? I don't never fold, I don't never fold. And what's not for sale, brother, is my soul. Question you gotta answer, brother, what's your goal? You wanna be a diamond or stay cold? We gotta change the system. Shit, you can break a window, but they gon' fix them. My point is, you expect a racist to change? He ain't the problem. You gotta change your brain. Benefit from oppression, but when you gon' change and learn the lesson, when you gon' realize that you a blessing, gotta work in the afterlife, I'll do my resting. When you gon' realize that you the blessing, gotta work in the afterlife, I'll do my resting. It's the truth.
Freedom is not won by a passive acceptance of suffering. Freedom is won by a struggle against suffering. Racial understanding is not something that we find, but something that we must create. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against.
Okay.
Come on.
Told me that today was
That job.
somebody
Flames,
said
flames.
that today was
Fire.
the day where we had a hitter, and I knew it. Like I just in my spirit. That was so dope.
Allahu Akbar.
On dope. I was just sitting here like,
Dope.
okay. Oh, like I even wrote down parts of the verses. Like,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
like you said, that the system ain't broke. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And I was like, oh, wait. Wow. Like a lot of times we're looking to something that we feel is supposed to be a certain way. And it's like, well, no, it was supposed, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Oh, yeah. And then at another point you said, you expect the racist to change. He ain't the problem. You have to change your brain. And I was just like, wow. Like I was sitting there writing the verse like, wait. He said what? That was, man, that was powerful. That was more than powerful.
MashaAllah. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. It was Brother Bilal, man. First, man, so good to see you, man. I've loved you for a long time, man. So I'm happy to see you here, man. And I appreciate you, all your support and prayers over the years, man. I felt it. You know, this song right here, it's twofold as far as the message go. There's a lot of symbolism within it. It's a lot of symbolism within it, and I'll let you like, you know, watch it and just kind of see, it. But the message is twofold. It's like, we know we got this system that is not broken, is doing what it's supposed to do. But tearing up buildings ain't sufficient, even though it plays its part. I mean, I was on a radio show the other day, and they was asking me questions. I said, well, let's be honest. You wouldn't be talking to me about this unless some buildings was burnt. So obviously it played its part, but it's not sufficient in regards of the complete liberation of humanity. So, the song is like, I feel like in my city of Cleveland, when things pop off, it's a certain segment of my city that is looking for me to say something. And that was what I needed to say in that art form.
No, the joint is fire, man. Like, appreciated the artistry, man. But Basheer, could you talk to we HBCU grads up in here, so myself from Lincoln, you already know. So could you talk to us about, just briefly, how did that experience shape you? The HBCU experience shape you and prepare you for the advocacy and the activism that you're doing now in Cleveland, and even your artistry as well.
Yeah. Well, it actually started even before that.
Okay.
I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Mm-hmm. I was raised at Marsha man in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Mom Siraj Wahaj. My grandparents was Muslim, so I'm a third generation Muslim. My mom and dad was Muslim. So I saw activism at a very early age. You had, these black Muslims who, who cleaned up Brooklyn, man. Cleaned up Brooklyn and who was not accepted by the society. They wasn't accepted by white people, of course.
They weren't accepted by us other Muslims.
They weren't accepted by the Arabs and the Pakistanis and the Indians. Right. They wasn't accepted by some black people, for that matter.
Right.
Right. So there was always this sense of courage that the early Muslims, I call them the Tabi'in, they were the early generation. They had to truly really set the footsteps for us. So that's where I saw my advocacy from. Mm-hmm. And, growing up around these aunties and uncles from the Warif Deen Muhammad community and the Dar es Salaam community, Imam Jamil Alameen community, it was all like poetry, man. It was all poetry. So I can remember going to my first Riata. You know what I mean? Riata, for those who don't know, is a sports competition basically that was put on by Imam Jamil Alameen community. May Allah free him. So even at a young age, I was reciting poetry because that was my form of getting my anger out, man. Mm-hmm. Growing up in the neighborhoods I grew up in. So that was the real courage. Oh, that was the courage of the Sister Claire Muhammad's, man, and all the aunties that was wearing hijabs, you understand, before it became a fashion statement. That was the courage, and we just living it out. A lot of people called me when I first became the councilman here in Cleveland, the first Muslim councilman in Cleveland's history. So, of course, the very first thing I did was takbir, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? 300 people, 300 Muslims showed up to that joint. Allahu Akbar. So, so there's one lady, she walked past, she said, is that a war? Is that a war call? So, it is war, but no, it depends on your position, But I guess the reason why I said that is that people looked at it and said, well, how are you going to say God is the greatest, Allahu Akbar, in City Hall? Are you I'm like, that ain't the real courage. The real courage was, you understand, Muslims, man, in the 60s, man, in the 70s, man, or the Muslima who rocked the hijab right after 9/11 and didn't care. That was courage, man. Me saying Allahu Akbar, man, that ain't courage. I mean, Busta Rhymes said that in the rap. I mean, it ain't really, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for both you and Davee. How do you sort of make the decision to rap consciously, right? Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, so many young brothers, when they decide that, oh, okay, I have this talent and I have this skill, it seems to me anyway that they choose to, rap about the block and rap about the guns and the women and all of those different things because it's popular. So how do you make the decision to make the rap conscious, and what, I guess, what backlash do you get from that, if any?
If it's go ahead, Davey.
I was just gonna say, and this is not to toot our own horns, but cool guys, most times, there's not too much you can't do that people won't respect. So I think before music, people respect Basheer. Before music, people respect me. You know what I mean? The music just happens to be a cherry on top. You know what I mean? So when you already have the respect and the ear of the people, and then you have the nerve to make music, most times, whatever you do is going to reflect that persona or that personality that you already carry. You know what I mean? Like, for some people, it's really a decision like that to say, I want to make a conscious song. I want to try and make an effort to make a conscious song. And that's kind of what I was touching on when I was saying our experience when we made the song. It was it was as simple as breathing, because it's in you. You know what I mean? Like, it some people have it and some try to um walk in it. You know what I mean? It's an organic vibe when you already have those dimensions to yourself, where you can have that little bit of edge to you, but you have that also that bit of consciousness. Like, I think we're made up of multiple ingredients that give us the freedom to switch speeds in any type of way, and it still looks like we're not trying, because it's like a natural gift. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Makes complete sense, and it's good
Yes,
to,
sir. Yes, sir.
especially, for our young people to know that, if you do have that, if you do have that in your makeup, right, that you don't necessarily
Yeah.
have to steer towards something else because it looks that much more popular. So just to even hear you say it, I pray that young people hear you saying that, and know that that can be the reality for them, so that they don't necessarily have to run away from a gift because it doesn't fit
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
into
Exactly.
whatever. I know for a lot of, we were talking about, being Muslim, a lot of young Muslim boys, it could be like, well, does this fit into the Deen? People sort of struggle with that kind of thing, both
Mm-hmm.
young men and women, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so they may run away from a gift because it feels like it doesn't fit. And even for, someone who's a non-Muslim, we could even be talking about someone who is from a Christian background, because it doesn't feel like rapping fits within the paradigm of their religious upbringing. They may
But
try
why?
to run it.
But the question I want you to ask yourself is, why is that?
Oh, here we go.
And let me say before the prelude to that, you can't be. I don't care how positive you are, you can't be whack. So I don't care how good you are, like how positive you are. And that John's whack, nobody listening. Like, your beat better be tight. What you saying better be tight. You know what I mean? So that's
That that
my
that's
big,
the point I was trying to make.
yeah,
Yeah.
my big bro Amir Suleiman. He say, you better chew coca leaves and spit out dope. You know what I mean? So it don't matter how positive you are. But, the same people who told us that our culture was the antithesis of Islam, the same
Mm-hmm.
people now have picked up our culture and ran with it. You
Yeah.
go to places like ICNA and
Oh,
ISNA,
yeah.
these
Yep.
national conversation, national conventions, but
Mhm.
before they like, no, we'll take native Deen, but nobody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now you go there and it's like a straight hip hop concert.
Right.
Yo, I went on tour. Me, Imam Suraj, Amir Suleiman, Maher Zain, and we went on tour in Australia. Man, these young Muslim, Lebanese, Syrian, Arabs,
Yeah, like this.
man, they was up. I was like, yo, don't you ever talk to me about Tupac again, man. Look at this, man. You know, I mean, I know Pac is a little bit, I know it's different messages, but my point is that, you know, you have to be respectful of people's culture. The Prophet ﷺ, he didn't come to change a person's culture. That was not what it was all about. But what we did as Black Muslims, our grandparents and parents, in many cases, they threw away white supremacy and picked up Arab supremacy, and thinking that the more Arab you are, the closer you are to the way of the Prophet ﷺ. And that's not the truth. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to interject. That's not freedom. You know, what if you picking up another culture, picking up another identity? That's not freedom. That's why we talk about new freedom, because the idea of going from physical shackles, we went from physical shackles to now going in shackles mentally. You know, so I'm saying it has castrated us as a people. We're limiting ourselves on not just from the artistry standpoint, but from the business standpoint, from the political standpoint. We've castrated ourselves with this ideal, with these ideologies, these philosophies that has nothing to do and is counterproductive to establishing good human life, and most importantly, establishing us as African American people.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And as we find, it's not even a part of our tradition. It's not even a part of our tradition. Alhamdulillah, I'm finishing up. I have 2 more classes left in my master's in Islamic studies from Bayan Claremont. And alhamdulillah. And these are the conversations that we've been having about culture and how people have used politics to push their agenda. For example, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ihdina sirata mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayru maghdubi alayhim waladhdallin. Ameen. We've been told sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Guide us on the path of those who, you know, is on the right path, basically. The path of those whom you love. Parentheses, Muslims.
Right.
You know, Ghayru maghdubi alayhim waladhdallin. Ameen. And keep us away from the path of those that has your anger, basically. Parentheses, Christians and Jews. Right? So we came back from our studies, and I'm saying we in regards of just symbolic and we came back and we cursed out our Christian mothers. We cursed out our Christian fathers. We did talk fear on them. We called them kuffars. You're not Muslim. You're not a believer. And we broke up communities. We destroyed communities because we embraced someone's political agenda, not a spiritual one. It was a political agenda that they brought to us. Their tafsirs, their explanation of the Quran had political agendas tied to it. So now what we're doing is that we're understanding that leadership, particularly Islamic leadership, must be raised in America, who understand. Imam Wardi Muhammad understood this very well.
Here we go.
And the Nation of Islam did too. And that's another, my thesis is that the Nation of Islam is the most impactful Muslim movement in American history. That's my thesis. Now, Muslims ain't gonna like to hear that because they don't like to consider Nation of Islam as Muslim.
That's okay though. But you hit him upside the head.
You hit him upside the head because no movement has ever produced a Clara Muhammad and Muhammad Ali and a Malcolm X. No movement has done it. No movement has had more of an impact on the neighborhood and the community around them. I tell people all the time, I say, sister, you're safer in urban communities than you'll ever be in a rural community. Because that guy, he'll be like, Salaam alaikum, he don't even know how to say it. But he know, if you touch her, there's quick consequences. Right?
Oh yeah, it's a wrap.
Right?
It's a wrap. Khalas.
So when I'm khalas, yeah, you see, here we go. See, Davee, khalas. That's what we talked about earlier. So we understand that. So what I'm saying to you and to myself is that a lot of people left Islam and not even wanted to be in Islam because they believed that Islam was the antithesis of their very nature. Right? And that's why what we're doing is so important, is that And I'm not saying music can't be bad, because music has a way of, music can be used as a
Sure.
bad tool. But to think that my culture is not what the prophet would have wanted, I don't agree. I don't believe that. I don't believe that mess at all.
Right.
Straight up.
And so we've been talking
Mm-hmm.
week about minority mental health, and so I want to
No minorities, Marsha. Come on, no minority. We're not embracing that. Please.
Right? You did say yesterday we were going to take that out of there, right?
Yes,
so
please.
We're going to talk about mental health, and I don't know what other term you use, Bilal. Don't be trying to beat me up in front of the guests. No, but we've been talking about mental health in our community. So I want us to talk a little bit about that, and I guess how it plays out in what we're seeing socially in our communities, what we're seeing in our music, what we're seeing in our media, and how it ties in, and if you feel like your music somehow addresses mental health among the community.
Davee.
So I have a song. It was actually one of my debut songs, and it's called Shooting Star. And
Shooting Star.
yeah, Shooting Stars. And I'm a firm believer in the power of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, I'm not saying every song I make is a conscious song, or you know what I mean. I'm a human being, so there's many dimensions to me. But a song like Shooting Star, my initial goal for that song was to address the mental health of an individual that's just tired of the struggle, tired of being at the bottom, tired of fighting these same old issues, and I have a 9 to 5, the lyrics say, but that won't solve my problems. So at the end of the day, all I really have is this God-given dream that's inside of me, and a lot of times mental health. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Dave. You went out, but can you repeat what you just said, though, brother?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I, a lot of times to me, a lot of times with me, to me, mental health, those toughest times is when you're alone, when you're at home, when it's quiet, and it's you and your thoughts. And a lot of times, those are the times where you're either building yourself up or you're tearing yourself down. It's the battlefield of the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's moments like that where I would hope that a song like Shooting Star would inspire somebody to say, you know what, without nobody else around, I can lift me, I can strengthen me, I can coach me, I can motivate me to keep fighting, to keep going, because it's easier when people are around you. You know what I mean? It's like when you go like I'm familiar more so with a Christian background, but a lot of times when people are in church, the choir's singing, the people are around you clapping, the music is going, the preacher's preaching, you feel great, right? You feel like unstoppable. But it's those moments when you're at home alone and adversity hits, and trials and tribulations are on your left and your right. Those are the moments that are those make or break moments. You know what I mean? And I remember growing up, for moments like that, just about every moment, you had a song that you could click on that would minister to your spirit. And I'm not talking a religious song. You know what I mean? Just music, period. Like whether it be Marvin Gaye, you know what I mean? That's one of my favorites, Sam Cooke. But it's songs like that in those moments, matter if anybody was around you or not, you had just enough to get you to the morning. You know what I mean? Most times, if you can make it to the morning, you'll be okay. Those nights are long and hard and lonely and cold, and those are definitely where I think mental health reaches its highest point. Most suicides are done alone. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Correct. Right.
You know, it's funny you say that, man. I had one of my OGs, man, recently come up to me, very well known here in the city of Cleveland, big time. I don't even want to say too much because people will figure it out. And he came up to me. He was like, "I'm suffering from depression, man." And he went to the doctor. And the doctor gave him some stuff that made the depression leave, but made his anxiety on 1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and we would be surprised of how many people are suffering from depression. I remember my Omi passed away. My Omi passed away 10 years back. Her name was Imani, Rahimullah, and she, my best friend, man, when she left this planet, you know, I definitely was in a depressive state. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's moments that I go back to it, to be quite honest. But, you know, as I was telling my OG, I'm like, listen, brother, you can't be taking that nonsense they're giving you, man. You got to get into your herbs. You got to get into your St. John's. You know what I'm saying? You got to get into that black seed. You got to get into, you know what I mean? Your ginkgo biloba, deloba, whatever it is, my brother. You got to get into that. Because that damn pharmaceutical drugs ain't going to get you to where you need to be. So him and I, we talked, and I sent him some stuff, man, some teas that you can take, some different vitamins, some different herbs. And inshallah, it's be a benefit. But my point is that you can see a person and you just never know what they're dealing with mentally. And
that's the problem, Davee and Basheer. That the problem is that we talked about the church and the masjid. You know, the problem in both of those places, actuality, is that when we come together as a community and we go to the Sunday service or the Friday service, we tend to just see each other then, but we don't really ask and inquire what's going on because everybody's in the rush. No, like we are forgetting our ranks are supposed to be tight. When we pray, our ranks are supposed to be closed. And people are falling into the gaps with this depression and these other problems and going to divorce, domestic violence, and all of these other ills or these crucial concerns. And where we come in is how can we address those things healthy? Because we're not having the exchanges and the dialogues we need to have. So people are suffering. And then we wonder why, what happened to the black man? How come the black man is not leading the family? How come he's not marrying these sisters out here? How come he's not doing this? How come he's doing that? Well, there's a lot of factors to that, you know, and we really need to get to the bottom of that. And I want to ask you, brothers, you know, from your perspective, you know, how can we as men, you know, start to open up more, you know, some saying to even seeking professional help. How can we open up and start solving some of these problems with us as men, black men?
Yeah. It's a great question, brother. And, you know, just the other day, I hosted a men's talk. And the reason why, because I was just in Atlanta, Brother Deen. I was with Brother Suleiman in Atlanta and Atiba and, you know, Yusuf Kroma. And we were talking, man, from about 9 p.m. to about 3 a.m. about spirituality and mental health. And, you know, our mothers who raised us, for those who didn't have fathers in our lives, our mothers who raised us, but they only could raise me. My mother could only raise me to teach me how to treat women. She couldn't raise me to teach me how to be a man. And when I think about how we raise our daughters, we tell our daughters, and we're supposed to, baby, I love you. You're so smart. You're beautiful. You deserve the world. We have all these things to say. But we never tell our sons what they deserve. We never tell our sons that you deserve the world. You deserve this. You deserve to be taken care of. You don't deserve to just be, you know, just doing the taking care of. No, you deserve to be taken care of. So we have to change our dialogue with our boys, and we have to be open about what we're going through. And as men, we have to figure out what our mission is. Right? What is our mission? And with all due respect to our sister, no woman should come before your mission. Your mission is number one. Your purpose is number one. What Allah sent you here to do is number one. And any woman who really loves you, she's going to respect that. She's going to appreciate that. And she's going to support that. But when you put a woman, and I don't care how much you love her and how beautiful she is, if you make her your God or make her your mission, you'll lose your mission and you'll lose her. So we have to get into the habit of understanding manhood. And we have this thing called fatwa in Islam, you know what I'm saying? Teaching boys how to become men. And we have to have conversations and be open about what we have experienced and what we're going through and our pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, be open about your pain. Be about what you've experienced in the world. And this is not for no, like, just Muslims, yo. This is like Christians, Muslims, spiritualists. Like, this is just manhood talk.
Right.
I tell my brothers, man, I tell them, I say, listen, brother, I don't care how much you love her, brother. I don't care how much you love her. If you don't focus on your mission, you'll lose her and the mission, brother. Because a woman, and I can't speak for women in that sense, but I'm saying she wants a man. She don't want a son. She got a son. She wants someone who can be a leader, not someone that she has to raise. And no matter what, I would rather spend a good hour with you having my full attention than me being with you for a whole day and I'm thinking about something else.
Right.
Focus on your mission, man, what you were sent here to do. Focus on that, and the Creator will bring the right people to you, will bring the right woman to you. And if she's not right for you, brother, then, you know, let her go, brother. Like, there's a lot of people in the world, man. Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? You know, we so possessive over what belongs to Allah, you know? So we just have to really be open with discussing our feelings and our emotions. And that's what makes me and Davee and myself, you know, artists. Because in order for you to write and perform, right, and recite and sing, you got to be in touch with an emotion that you're pulling it from. You got to be in touch with something. Like, I can't write when I'm not inspired. I can't even write. I only can write when I'm inspired to write. You know, like, oh, I can write for hours then, but if I'm not inspired, if something didn't move my heart, you know what I'm saying? I can't say nothing because it's not from God at that point. You know, Davee.
The one thing I would say, man, kind of somewhat piggybacking on what you said, but be it male or female, I mean, definitely men, we definitely have to become more in tune with that and our emotions and whatnot. But I think a certain level of transparency across the board kind of captures a lot of that. We're in a society where it's not cool to have flaws. When truth of the matter is we're striving every day to become. So you don't become without turning a flaw into an attribute. You know what I mean? And as men, I think mostly we hide our flaws, or we hide our insecurities, or we hide those things that we lack for whatever reason we didn't get as we were young. We didn't get those ingredients that make us complete. And you know, when you come into a situation incomplete, if you don't acknowledge those flaws, it's just a matter of time before, you know, they become a bigger problem to where it is sometimes hard to recover from.
Right.
You know what I mean? We try and mask it behind our masculinity. And I remember telling my nephew before he started having children, you know, the best thing to do, like Basheer said, is of course chase your purpose and your mission. But the best thing to do before you start bringing children into the world is try and get at least to a comfortable position with self. You know what I mean? So that those same insecurities and flaws that you try and hide, you can better diagnose them or better coach your children through them. Because a person with flaws and things that they're hiding, most times it transitions or transfers onto the kid. And if you haven't overcome it or addressed it, then you can't even begin to tell the kid how to overcome it. So then we have this cycle going And, you know, we have these relationships that we try and start with a rocky foundation. You know, our basements end up crumbling because our foundation wasn't good to begin with. I think we need to all admit it's okay. Like, we all have flaws. We all have shortcomings.
Right.
I think we chase this ideal of perfection. And in reality, we're always evolving. Perfection means you're done. You're perfect. There's nothing else to do. The work is done. You're a finished product. And at what age, if any of you know, tell me at what age are we truly a finished product? We're forever evolving and forever learning. So I think we have to let that perfection thing go and just say, hey, this is me. This is what I got. I have these issues and that. And from then, you can begin to conquer them. So transparency for me will always be the key.
Excellent. As we wrap up, because we're at the top of the hour, we want to prolong and keep the brothers from their families and from their other obligations. Before we get to closing remarks, I would like Brother Davee, if you could please tell the listening audience and us where we can listen to your music. You know, where we can listen. Where can we hear your music, brother, so we can share it to the platform?
So everything is available online. I mean, we're in a digital world now. So you got your Apple, you got Tidal, you got Spotify. So you have, of course, my performance name is Davee with a macrome over the E. That's the old vocabulary lesson in grade school where you have your long vowels and your short vowels. So the E is long, so it's Davee. But they won't allow me to do that, so it's Dave, and it's a million Daves.
Right.
Artist. So the best thing, you have to know the title. So I have an EP out. It's called For Lovers Only.
For Lovers Only, okay. For Lovers Only.
For Lovers Only.
Okay.
Like, you know, that kind of stems like with a question you guys asked earlier. You know, as far as your direction when you with your music and how you try to reach others. I think music today lacks not only the consciousness, but it lacks love. It lacks a lot of love, and not necessarily love making, but just general, the universal language of love. Whether we speak the same language, whether we grew up in the same neighborhood or not, most human beings recognize love and when love is being shown. So that's what that album kind of represents, For Lovers Only. Of course, Shooting Stars, Meant for Me. I got a new song coming out next month called Looking for Love. And that kind of speaks into the transparency or whatnot. So stay tuned for that. But it's under Dave. You type in one, the rest will come up. So just type in Dave For Lovers Only, and you'll find everything there.
Bet. Thank you. And Councilman, what's up with you with the music, man?
Alhamdulillah.
I know you got some cooking in the chamber, man.
Yeah, you know, I was looking for something to recite for you all before.
Oh man!
Before I let you go, man.
He came prepared.
Man, I'm trying to say, let me find something real fast. So I got a picture.
Preparing for Sway in the morning.
That's right.
You already know, Davey. You already.
Fingers of death. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right.
With the hyenas. Time for the hyenas. Okay. So here we go. All right, couple joints right here. Okay. Salams to the nation, who's always on the front line no matter what we facing. No American dream, just hell in this nation. We built the foundation, but we still in the basement. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he deserved that love. I heard you say your honor to the judge. Allah is the judge. FOI on post, don't budge. They cleaned up communities with fearlessness and love. Most of our grandmothers, they was MGT while we was being affected by MTV. Respect the womb that bore you. Yeah, that can't be denied. The reason why we collide, because we got too much pride. It don't matter if you Sunni, Shiite or you Sufi. If you ain't about that Muslim unity, then you goofy. I've been a Muslim, third generation. Majority of black Muslims came through the nation. That boy came back from Saudi and called everybody kafir. He was just a drug dealing pimp and an upcoming rapper. Allah changed you and he gave you direction, not to move with aggression, but to move with affection. No God but Allah, and our Habib is the prophet. Muhammad ibn Abdullah gave us energy like a socket. We follow his sunnah. We follow his sunnah. Now it's time to come together like a Juma. We take this Deen seriously. No humor. Almost 2 billion strong. That's no rumor. Representing Cleveland, but born in Brooklyn. Don't label me nothing but a Muslim. So, where do I start? Started as a raging fire, but I started as a spark. Raised in Cleveland, aka Jurassic Park, how did I become a whale amongst the sharks? From homeless to honors grad, from that school right next door to Clark. I'm Superman and I'm Clark. Better yet, I'm Black Panther approaching you in the dark. Life is a play, and I came to play my part. I'm Iron Man with the brilliance of Tony Stark, with that energy that's in my heart. To attract my brother Akil from Jurassic, 5 times a day, I was born to be a classic. I wasn't born to be plastic. I gotta make a change before I reach the casket. Better yet, the earth. I want to die a death of honor because I had an honorable birth. The queen looked at me. She said she really liked my girth, but she really liked my brain because that's my true worth. She understands my mission. Sometimes it makes her hurt because legends die early, so that makes her alert. Because of her understanding, she became one of my earths. She understands my worth, so she don't bring me hurt. She just bows to the king. I'm a reflection of the first. She knows I'm not perfect, and she knows I'm not the worst. I'm her temple, I'm her mosque, I'm her church. That means that she finds God within me. I'm his spirit, so you can feel me. It's in my lyrics. No need for gimmicks. No, it's not a scrimmage. We in the fourth quarter. It ain't a new world, it's an old world order. Ain't nothing new under the sun. The same energy since my grandparents begun. How can I hate you when we all a part of the one? We related. I got the same spirit of the natives, and I'm creative. And I stay active. I let y'all do debating. So while everybody else is all pontificating, I'm creating, never shaken by Satan. And I don't care nothing about ratings. When the ceilings is what I'm breaking. I'm a mixture of being patient and not waiting. We not faking. We just baking. Salam alaikum. Started in the basement. Had to build the foundation. All praises are due to the creator of creation. I live in a nation that benefits from mental castration. Some of the sins of the past nations. So I don't got no time for vacations. The sins of this land, it got me pacing. Spirit aching. Mind racing. Body shaking. Time wasting. Goal chasing. Stay patient. Shoes lacing. Participating. Perspiration. Desperation. I got to change this nation for the next generation. So I'm about to go ham. Now Muslim. I'm about to go lamb. Lyrical assassin Muslim brother who I am. Trying to make a change from Cleveland to Japan and beyond. My word is my bond. These cats rap about money, crack, women, and killing, so I yawn. Opposite than dawn. If they was being real, I swear they'd be gone. Dead or in jail, they transform on a song. So where's the real men who stand up? They lack genitals. I bring message of hope, blatant subliminal. I'm climbing to the top like I got tentacles. Man, these imbeciles, they spit poison on me. I bring minerals. The ox bring minerals. So they ask what I got in me. H-Rap, MLK, Martin Marley, and Pac in me. Shit. It ain't no stopping me. Because being a sucker, brother, it's just not in me. I call them Kinko because all they do is copy. I call them Joe because, boy, they so sloppy. Sound like a slave talking about your chains. Let me hear a song talking about your brains. Sound like a slave talking about your chains. Let me hear a song talking about your brains. This is the truth.
Let's go. Let's go. Bring the heat, man. Heat rockers.
That was dope.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Davey, you got something for us, beloved?
Let's go,
come on, it's only right, beloved.
Come
on, beloved. Come on, beloved.
I got something. Let's see. It's a message to the people. It's called The Revolution. So there's a battle going on outside your door, and ain't no need of you running. You better get ready for war. The time has come for us to fight. If we ever gonna turn darkness to light, so like it or love it, we all involved. It's a revolution coming, so you better get ready, y'all. You better get ready. Get ready. You better get ready. Yeah. Ooh, get ready. Verse 2. Keep it going.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
No more crying. No more tears. No more running, baby. No more fears. See, it's our time now, and we're here. It's a revolution coming, and the message clear. You better get ready. Get ready. You better get ready. Yeah. Ooh, get ready. Brothers and sisters, get ready.
Wow. Come on now. Come on, man.
Like about.
You heard it
We in the
first.
studio for real.
I knew that.
Hey, you got my juices going now. I'm ready to keep going now. like do another song, but I'm ready to go now.
Shoot, man.
Really turned into a concert series.
Right. Alhamdulillah.
Excellent. Well, we thank you all for joining us today, man. Whoa. Couldn't think of any way to end it. You want what you want to do? You got something, Bilal? What you about to do? Come on, man.
Go ahead, Deen. Go ahead, Bilal.
I was going to do a cipher, man. We could do it. We could do it around the clock, man. What you want to do?
Go, baby.
Go ahead, Bilal.
We thank you all for joining us this episode, New Freedom Exchange. Our dear brother Basheer, Councilman Basheer Jones, future mayor of Cleveland. You heard it here. If you haven't heard it nowhere else, he's definitely worthy. As he said, he's a public servant first.
Keep him in your prayers. Keep him in your prayers and your du'as, and open up those checkbooks when it comes time to open up the checkbook.
Absolutely. And we thank our dear brother Davee. First time hearing from you. You definitely blew us out the blocks. Hope to hear from you again. We'll bring you back when you're ready to launch your next project. The platform's open to both of you all. They say su casa, mi casa, or mi casa, su casa. We say the same thing with the studio. You know what I mean? So it's here for you all.
Make sure y'all follow me too, man. So y'all stay up to date with everything at DAVIE_FP for Freedom Papers. Davee Freedom Papers on Instagram.
Davee Freedom Papers. All right, we got you.
Excellent. For all of those who are tuning in, we have a double hitter. We'll be back at 9 p.m. tonight with our dear sister Saida. She's going to bless us with one of her debut tracks and video. So look forward to that tonight at 9, same station. New Freedom Exchange on Facebook as well as YouTube and Instagram. Check us out. Also, we have a campaign that we are promoting. A dear sister of ours in our community. Her and her family had came across some hardships due to a storm, and she's out of doors, her and her 6 children. So we just attached on the comments her GoFundMe for those who are able to contribute. Any amount will help. Did it come up? There we go.
Yeah, put that on the screen.
Right there. Yeah, I gotta do a short link for that too, so it'll be easy to get on there. But yeah, share that if you can't. Even if you can't donate, share it. People say when you share it, you increase the potential of donating 27% more. So even if you can't donate, at least share for those who can. We also, as we mentioned, have our New Freedom path. I don't have that link right now, but stay tuned. Check us out on our platform. We're looking to build a daily digital. As Basheer gave us good encouragement early on, whether it's 1 or 1,000 or 1 million, get the message out, keep it pushing. Because it's definitely bringing back the balance to the landscape. And our ultimate goal is to fight the schemes of Satan who's the enemy of mankind. So we thank you all again for tuning in. We're going to close out with the track that we debuted here. Can't get enough of this right here, Freedom. So until next time, peace. We thank you again, Basheer, Brother Davee, my co-host Bilal, Sister Marsha holding us down. This is Freedom from Basheer Jones and Davee. Check it out. Like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam to Allah. Feeling really emotional, man. Bravo, I appreciate you, man. Mac, I appreciate you, man. Davey, what's up, man? It's our time, man. Listen to that. Jesse Jackson, he said that we are somebody. America treat us like we ain't nobody. We need help from somebody. I'm getting tired of seeing black bodies. We'll be okay, that's what my mama said. We unhealed, that's what the trauma said. Yes, we can, that's what Obama said. American terror, that's what Osama said. You wanna break something, go and break the ceiling. You wanna start something, go and start the healing. How you wanna raise hell but won't raise your children? Wanna burn a building but won't start building. I want the violence to decrease, whether it's the streets or it's the police. Yo, be a real one, stay away from snakes. I gotta make a change, no time to waste.
Tell me what you see when you look at me. Is it something that you hate, or something that you wanna be? Help me understand how you can be so mad at my existence. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom.
The system ain't broken, doing what it's supposed to do, realest words spoken. Kill us in live and live in color, brother choking, called on his mother, dead in the open. Anybody go and break some glass. It take a real one, bro, to give a class. Anyone can pull a gun and start to blast, but it takes a real man to give a pass. Be proactive, not reactive. How I make a change, Basheer? Be active. Boy, you go and sell some dope, but won't go and vote. Father left early, he don't know how to cope. I came too far, boy can't fail. They said I'm a sellout, shit, what I sell? I don't never fold, I don't never fold. And what's not for sale, brother, is my soul. Question you gotta answer, brother, what's your goal? You wanna be a diamond or stay cold? We gotta change the system. Shit, you can break a window, but they gon' fix them. My point is, you expect a racist to change? He ain't the problem. You gotta change your brain. Benefit from oppression, but when you gonna change and learn the lesson? When you gonna realize that you a blessing? Gotta work, in the afterlife I'll do my resting. When you gonna realize that you the blessing? Gotta work, in the afterlife I'll do my resting, it's the truth.
Freedom is not won by a passive acceptance of suffering. Freedom is won by a struggle against suffering. Racial understanding is not something that we find, but something that we must create. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against